G'day viewers, Retro Man here, and welcome to episode 3 of Lost Movies from the 1990s. Today I'll be taking a look at a comedy from Down Under about a petty criminal who after an accident thinks he's working for the man upstairs. And I'll also be taking a look at a movie about a bunch of guys that witness a murder downtown and then find themselves running for their lives. So both of these films supply the laughs, and they also have some very winning performances. Almost an Angel from 1990 is a whimsical fantasy comedy starring Paul Hogan and his then wife Linda Kozlowski. Now, this movie didn't do too well at the box office. It's now largely forgotten. It came shortly after Crocodile Dundee 1 and 2, which were two of the biggest movies in the world. And Paul Hogan was an absolute megastar at the time, but for some strange reason, Almost an Angel didn't work out for Paul. It was one of those films where the marketing just didn't ignite and bring viewers to the theatre. So it did have a bit of a rocky marketing campaign. I remember seeing a handful of trailers that were really cool and interesting, and then there were these other trailers that didn't want to give too much away, and Paul kind of stands there and talks. So many people just didn't take an interest in Almost an Angel. That marketing just, for some reason, didn't capture the attention of the public, and that's where the film failed. For whatever reason, this just wasn't a concept that the public were interested in. So it wasn't a Crocodile Dundee, and the public went, hang on, I don't think I want to see this. And it was a Paul Hogan film that just floundered. And it's terrible that that happened, because Paul Hogan wrote a fairly good script, I think. It has an originality to it. It also has a lot of laughs, but it kind of just putters along. They expected a big movie like Crocodile Dundee, and this was just a smaller film that had some whimsy to it, that had a nice little genial spirit, and Paul really equips himself well. I think he has a likeable on-screen presence. He plays this rogue, petty criminal to aplomb, and also throughout, Paul's character tries to find himself with the church, and there's a great little moment where Paul looks up and he asks, is Elvis up there with you? And it just has a lot of heartfelt, winning little moments. And I just think that it sails along for the most part on the charm of Paul Hogan. And he does have a lot of charm. And other people say it needed bigger laughs, but it's just a sweet little story. And maybe that's all it needed to be. And I also think that Elias Koteas does well in this film. He plays Paul's wheelchair buddy, and the two men try to help each other with their problems in the second half of the film. So there is a dramatic undercurrent here. It peppers along with a few laughs, and for the most part, I think it's executed well. It's really just a sweet little feel-good story. It was never meant to be a blockbuster. Paul was always happy with his work in the film, and it's ultimately a lost film that deserves rediscovery. So please go and seek out Almost an Angel with Paul Hogan. But I went and saw it at the cinema, and I must say this is just a feel-good movie. It's fairly light in tone, it's whimsical. It's a film that will put a smile on your face and in many ways get you thinking. So Almost an Angel, a fun little movie with a very charming Paul Hogan. Judgment Night from 1993 is an action film starring Emilio Estevez that tanked at the box office, but this film really deserved much better. If you sit down and watch it, I'm sure it will get you in. It's about four buddies. So we've got Emilio, we've got Stephen Dorff, we've got Cuba Gooding Jr. and Jeremy Piven. So there's four lead actors in this, and they play four guys that get together and go in a souped up RV into the city for a boxing match. But what happens is they get delayed in traffic, they kind of take a detour, and next minute they're witnesses to a murder. So they're put in a position that they would never have believed that they would be in. And it really is tension-filled, it's suspenseful, it's mysterious. And the villain of the piece is Denis Leary. He's malevolent, he's scenery chewing, and he really adds a threat. So Emilio and the boys are on the run at night. It's dark, it's dingy, but it has atmosphere. It's almost claustrophobic at times. And these four guys really have a camaraderie. You can feel their friendship, you can feel their frustrations, and they're just trying to survive. So it features some nice performances and it will have you on the edge of your seat. So as a survival film, I think it works. As an action movie, it works. This is one of Emilio Estevez's better films in the 90s, and it's really sad to think that this film flopped at the box office. It's more well known for its hip-hop rap soundtrack. It really has a soundtrack that took the attention of the 90s crowd. But for some reason, this film just faded away. So the soundtrack is more remembered than the movie, especially in the hip-hop community. But as a movie, I think Judgment Night is really underappreciated. So Judgment Night, one of those movies that slipped away, but is just begging to be rediscovered. So there we have it, another episode of Lost Movies from the 1990s. Thanks for joining me. And if you have something to say, please share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd like to hear your memories on these two films. Did you see them in the theatre? Did you catch up with them on video? These are kind of lost. No one talks about them today, but I have an affection for both films. So share your memories in the comments below. And while you're at it, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you're alerted for my next episode. Until next time, this is Retro Man, living the dream, retro style. Stay gold.
Thanks for watching. Retro Man will return faster than a boomerang. But in the meantime, please check out these other episodes.